Welcome back to Omni Garage. So, the Audi is sold, and we now have this. This is a 2020 Range Rover Sport.
It's in the Range Rover Sport, yep.
V8, HSE Dynamic.
Is it petrol or diesel?
Petrol.
So it's the right one.
Is it like 518 horsepower, 520, somewhere around about there?
525.
Who cares, it's slow as, so don't worry about it.
So it's a P525 HSE Sport 2020.
So it goes like 0 to 100 in 5.3 seconds, which is slow. The Audi, which was V6, is just as quick as this. And it's not as heavy.
The Audi didn't sound as good as I say.
No, I suppose it didn't.
Nowhere near. Like, this is deep. Although, you've owned this for how long now? Like 24 hours?
Yeah, we got it yesterday.
And you've already told me you wish there was an exhaust button to turn it off.
Yeah. So when you're driving around town, you know, it's pretty loud. Like, there's no on-off that I've worked out yet. And so I can imagine over a period of time it will get quite annoying. Like when you're just toddling around town, when you put your foot down, it does definitely open up. And so that would be nice that when you did put your foot down that you heard the noise. So I see why people buy the V6 option of this. There is real noise with the V6. We have had the V6 on the channel before. And I see why people definitely go for that option. But yep, it's pretty noisy.
Well, I mean, you've paid an extra somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000
for the noise.
For the noise, so get used to it and enjoy it, because otherwise you may as well have bought the V6.
Yeah, maybe you could have this, so I'll get the V6.
Yeah. It's depreciated a little bit in the last 24 hours.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, you're down about 20%. But I mean, this spec here, this is something that you've been looking at for a long time.
10 months.
Yeah. So you've had a couple of save searches on Trade Me.
So 10 months ago, I tried out the SVR. There was a 2016 SVR for sale. It's still for sale now. And it was nice. It did have a couple of old features. It was a slightly older shape. It didn't quite have the double screen, all that kind of cool features. It didn't have CarPlay, etc. But it did have the exhaust button that you can turn on and off. And it was an SVR, roughly about the same price. So then I waited and I waited and I waited, and then this one did come up, and I was like, oh, well, let's go try it. And there's really no noise difference between an SVR and a V8. They all kind of sound the same. Yes, the V8's slightly slower than the SVR option, but I think this is it's not the kind of car that you're going to jump in and go, oh, I feel like I'm in a sports car. You know, you're in a real luxury kind of cruiser. Sounds good, looks good, and that's basically what it is.
Well, I mean, the air ride suspension is what this car is all about as well, right? So it feels very
luxurious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Soft ride, isn't it?
Boat-like, yeah, maybe.
And I think it handles boat-like too.
Yeah, in a straight line. I mean, this thing, it's interesting, right? You put your foot down and you can notice it in and out of the car. It really hunkers down at the back.
The rear squats, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got the 22-inch wheels on here, which is a ridiculously expensive option, but I think that it fills out that wheel arch pretty nicely.
Because what, you can also get the 21 option?
Yeah, I think you've got 3 options on these. So you've got 19s, 20s, and actually you've got four options, because you do see some of these rolling around with the smaller 19s. Just don't think it's quite the right look. You've got the black 22s, you've got black package on this as well.
Yeah, so all the badges are black, the interior is all black, and so that is an extra option.
So I think you get this. You get this strip here, you get the black badges, you get the black piece around the rear bumper here. Yeah, black badges here. And you get badges at the front, and the side panels are black as well. So the air vents at the front here. Yeah, so the air vents and the intake, we don't really know if it's intake or...
Well, it looks like there's brake ducting, so there's brake ducting under here, which I don't know if that's for...
They're functional.
Functional, yeah, it is functional.
Yeah, and then you've obviously got the... You've got the black roof option on here as well.
So black roof is a free option on these cars, but the glass roof, so the panoramic roof, which is fixed, is a paid extra. So you got to pay extra for that. Privacy glass is an extra option, so it's only privacy on the back half. The front is just normal glass, and then it's got the heated windshield at the front. And it's quite interesting, you know, I never really have driven a car with a heated windshield before, but you can see the zigzag lines on the front, which kind of get a little distracting, a little annoying.
Yeah.
I hope over time that will disappear, I'll get used to it, but...
Chris has those on the that Ford Fiesta ST that we had on the channel, and I feel like you have to almost look through them a bit, but I mean, I feel like exterior-wise, you've pretty much got the ideal spec in this, to my liking, and I think yours, the only thing different that I feel like would have been a nice touch would have been the deployable running boards.
Yes.
So I think this car with the 22s looks quite nice because it sits quite low to the ground in the sense.
It is aired out completely though.
It is.
So this isn't driving height, this is just to get in and out.
I feel like where you want the fixed running boards is if you go with a smaller wheel on here, it makes the car look a bit lower to the ground. I think because you got the big wheels, it fills out the arches. I don't think you need the fixed running boards, but I mean, deployable would have been nice, I think. But at the end of the day, if you had the deployable running board, the car's going to look exactly like this all the time anyway, unless you're hopping in.
And so before we go inside, the exterior paint is in really bad condition. Not the worst we've ever seen on a Range Rover, but it's pretty bad. There are a lot of linear and sort of swirls from cleaning. Maybe this has been in a car wash, quite possibly. Water spots, yeah, there's a couple here and there. You really notice it on the black roof and stuff, but I'm not going to be spending 5 hours like I did on the other Range Rover.
No, you got glass up there for the majority.
Got glass, so it does make it a little easier. There's a water spot here or there. This will come out really nicely. I think we can do a really good job on here. It's flat white paint, which means you can't hide behind the speckle to get it even more pop. I think so. The detail work is really going to be true to form here, but I think it will correct out really nicely.
Oh, it's certainly going to be a transformation. For a relatively new car, it is quite beat up, but I mean, this is all fixable, right? All of this can be fixed, and it's going to look like a completely different car. Yeah, absolutely.
But to another owner, they would look at this, or they probably wouldn't even know, and they go, oh, what do I do here? You know, you'd have to pay for someone. There's an odd rock chip here or there. There's a little bit of a scratch on the bumper that's been touched up. Just the normal sort of wear and tear for a car that's got 70,000 Ks on the clock, which I think this is probably, as it is a pretty nice example of one of these compared to a couple of others that I've been in and out of through the buying process.
Yeah, there's not many on the market. I was actually looking again this morning, and there's not many others, I guess, with this same spec available at the moment. Like, it's kind of like, it's not as rare as the Subi, right? You can go and trade me at any one time, and there's 300-400 Range Rovers for sale, but to find the particular spec, because there's so many different options that you can go with on these, and you were looking for the black roof, you were ideally looking for black wheels of some sort, you know, that's quite tough to find.
Well, it's a common spec that everyone wants. So there's, you know, there's quite a lot of grey ones, there's a couple of blues at the moment. I think it's important to get an interior that doesn't age over the life of the vehicle. So it's black interior, so a lot of cars come with the white interior or a different sort of colour, and I think over a period of time those cars inside starts to age. It looks a little bit not cool anymore, and I think that's also going to be a harder sell later down the track. So it was important that we got the right spec, basically for us to enjoy, but also in terms of resale value later down the line. And then the V8, why do you go with that option? Because there's obviously, there's 4 different options in this, right? So you've got the diesel variants, you've got your V6 diesel, your turbo diesel V8, and then you've got your V6 supercharged petrol, your V8 supercharged petrol, and then the SVR variant, which obviously is just a tune on this. So why the V8? So
petrol?
Quite funny. So I wanted the V8 because I wanted it to feel a bit quicker, and I wanted it to sound like it should. So it's completely black interior, which I think is really important. You can get wood grain, or you can get a bit of a sport finish, but I think those things can start to look a little bit dated over time, and definitely I do not like the wood grain finish. Yes, it's piano black, it is quite scratched up in there, but I mean, we could probably polish those out if we're really gentle. And I mean, there's been no other car that I've seen that hasn't got scratches there. Even when you own a brand new car, within a week or so, piano black scratched anyway.
Exactly. So I mean, I think you're right. I think this black is it's just easy, right? Because you've got the red options, you've got the creamy white options as well.
Yeah.
But the black with the piano black is...
This stays modern for a longer period of time. And the white, I've seen a couple of white interiors. Yeah, you can clean that white interior back, but it's never going to look like, you know, new again. And I think that stuff sort of ages a bit quicker than the classic black interior.
So when you think about interior options that you've got here, like I'm looking at one right now, so you've got the dual zone, or it's like the tri-zone, right?
Yeah, it's 3-zone climate control. So that's an extra option that you can. It's got the nice exterior lighting package, so because it's facelift, exterior lighting, so you can choose which sort of colour you want for the lighting strips.
Oh, like the it's kind of like the mood lighting.
Yeah,
right?
ambient lighting.
You've got these strips here which you can change the colour on. You've also got the, these are illuminated door sills.
Yes, they do light up.
This here lights up.
Yep.
And then you also had puddle lights.
Puddle lights, which has had like a picture of a Range Rover out here, sort of on the floor there.
Quite a nice little touch.
So it's also got the fixed glass roof. It doesn't open and that sunshade does pull back. Facelift model, you do have the dual screens. So you know, you like facelift because of the dual screens.
Yeah, well, it just is a far more modern look, right? Rather than that look that most of these Range Rovers carried over since 2013 when this model was announced.
Yeah.
You do have the models, I think they're 2017s, where they went with a new top screen, but not the new climate control screen at the bottom.
So that's the climate control screen. That's the new updated screen, but on the 2016 I drove, they didn't really have this screen, so it was even older again.
No, the 2016 is older again, right? So in 2016,
Yep.
old.
Yep.
2017, new at the top, old at the bottom.
Yep.
2018, if you got facelift, you get your two here. And I think it just gives you such a more modern look.
I think you were so right in saying, just wait, Glenn, you need to get facelift model, you need to get facelift model. And I think, to be honest with you, waiting the 10 months, the prices of these things have come down dramatically, but not only that, I've managed to come up a couple of year levels and I've got the dual screen and the interior of the cabin is actually really important. I think that helps with your driver experience. The other car would have had to have bought CarPlay and done some weird things there, and yeah, this is just complete done. Like this is, you know, but buy it once, have it all done, and no looking back on that.
I think there's only two options in here. If you were to have spec this from new, there's two options on this interior that I would have gone with. I would have actually dropped the heated windscreen and I would have swapped it.
Oh, can you actually not get that in there?
I think that's an option.
Really?
I think that's an option.
I would
Don't
get rid of
quote
it
me.
because I'm never going to use it.
I would swap it for a heated steering wheel.
Yeah.
Really?
Right, I don't have heated steering wheel.
No.
The button is here for the heated steering wheel.
But you don't have it.
I don't have it.
The other thing that I would put in here, in this console, you can put a fridge as an option.
I'd like to try the fridge out.
I think the fridge would have been quite cool.
Storage is quite weird in this car. Like, you lift up this and there's like one big bin. It's just a big bin that goes all the way down, and then you pull this back, you got your drink holders and stuff, and then you just have another big bin. So you got two bins.
So you're going to see this car a fair bit on the channel while we go through the tidy up process. So you've done about a 3-hour interior detail today just to start tidying it up, right? It's going to take a few full leather treatment as well. But there's a full paint correction. You can look at doing Crystal Serum Ultra.
Yes, that will be probably our first experience with that. So we'll have a go with that, and if we muck it up on here, well, oh well.
Car, not a customer's.
Yeah, at least it's not a customer's car. So yeah, that will be all I'll do. I'll just tidy up the paint, tidy up the interior, get this thing looking nice. There'll be no mods, there'll be nothing like that. This is just a daily driver. It is what it is, and that'll be it. And I think that's all you should really need to do to these cars.